Hi guys, it's Riley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, this is my first ever video, and I decided I was going to do the mid-year book freakout tag because it's kind of perfect for my first video, to give you guys a bit of like what I read, if you like the type of content I'll be creating and that kind of stuff, as well as it's kind of like the perfect time, seeing as I'm filming this July and it's coming out soon. So yeah, I can't wait to jump right into it. I've got all the prompts written down and all the books that I'm going to be using around me, and yeah, we'll just jump straight into it, I suppose. Okay, if you see me looking down, my phone with all the prompts and stuff is right in front of you guys. And also, I'm really sorry about the lighting. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and it's winter right now, so the sun just kind of does whatever she feels like. And today's one of those days, I fear, where it's, well, actually it's 4 o'clock, so the sun's going down in like an hour, but that's not the point. Okay, the first question is, how is your reading going this year? And I've read, as of this moment, 78 books, which is pretty good for me. I wasn't planning on it, obviously, but I think I'm gonna beat however many I read last year, which I believe was over 100, but I'm not 100% sure. My average rating is 3.7. I don't think I've had any 5 stars, but that's okay. There's still 6 months of the year. We can still fix that. And the most books I read was in June, so last month, with 17, which was crazy. But it was my first, it's part of my uni semester break. So I had nothing else on other than work. So yeah, I read quite a bit in June. Okay, the second question is best book so far this year. So I've got 4, because I couldn't pick. I'll give you my 2 5-stars and then my 2 4.5s, because my 5 stars are obviously the best. And also, I did just say that I have no 5 stars, but like, that was what Fable said. And on, what's the word? Reflection, I've decided that these 2 are. So number 1, Atmosphere, a love story by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Life-changing, truly. I'm gonna do the same as everyone else and say that all you need to know is it's about space. And if that doesn't interest you, still please give it a go. First of all, this reversible dust jacket is insane. I got this at the Works from Europe while I was there. But yeah, beautiful dust jacket. But yeah, just if you love Taylor Jenkins Reid and like historical contemporary fiction, well, I'm pretty sure those are direct opposites of each other. Historical fiction, not contemporary. But yeah, this was amazing, and this was a 5 stars. So this book is gonna make an appearance quite a lot in this video, but that's alright. And the second 5-star, which upon reflection I'm making a 5-star, is actually Almost Life by Kieran Milgrave Harwood, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure. I'll put a picture of the cover up so you know what I'm talking about. But that book was just, I read it from the library, and I'm gonna need to go buy my own physical copy because it was insane. There's nothing else to say about it. It's about these 2 young girls. One is British and one's French. They're both in college, or the British one's about to go into college, university, whatever you want to call it. And it's just like a story of when they meet and how their lives intersect from like when they meet to decades later. Like, it spans both of their lives, and it was out of this world good. Like, I highly recommend it. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is much. And then my 4.5s, A Song to Drown Rivers, which I just read the other day. I love Anne Liang. I have all of her young adult fiction. Like, I've read it all and I own them all. And I wasn't gonna read A Song to Drown Rivers, but Jamie really hyped it up, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a crack. And lo and behold, it was 4.5 stars. So clearly, I liked it quite a lot. And then finally, my other 4.5 was Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I just realized I didn't even tell you what A Song to Drown Rivers is about. It's about this like really pretty girl, like the most beautiful girl across all the lands that you'll ever see in your life, and she pretty much is asked to become a spy for the rival kingdom to bring that kingdom down. And it's like a very dangerous mission, And look, it was really good. It didn't get 5 stars because I didn't like the ending. The ending kind of upset me a bit. But look, beggars can't be choosers. And I understand why Anne Liang did what she did. But I did take it as a personal slight. But, you know, who cares? And going back to Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, this is about... The main character's name is Holland St. James, and the world is like a fantastical version of Los Angeles, where there's just like magical myths and stories and stuff, and it was great. It was like, you know, Stephanie Garber, this is what she's good at. Fantastical worlds like Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart, which are both very highly rated series of mine. But yeah, I loved this, and I can't wait for the next one, so. Okay, the next question is, what's the best sequel that you read this year? And I have 2 for this, so I'll be quick. The first one is Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I have only started my V.E. Schwab journey this year. I started it with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which was slow, like everybody says, but for a reason, and it was great for a reason. And then I read Vicious, and then I read Vengeful. Now, while the story of Vicious wrapped up pretty perfectly in Vicious, I don't think this was completely necessary, so you could just read Vicious if that's all you wanted to do, but where she took this story and what she did with it, I loved, and I thought it was great, and I am not very patiently waiting for Victorious, which comes out very soon. Anyway, I didn't even say what this was about once again. I'll just kind of tell you what Vicious is about, I suppose. It's about these people who are extraordinaries, which is people that have had a near-death experience / died, and they come back, or they survive it, and they have special powers. So like they become, I don't want to say superheroes, because the whole point of this is that they're anti-heroes, but they just have superpowers, and you know, some of them choose to go undercover and not do anything about it, and some of them choose to be all that anyone talks about. And we were following 2 main characters in the first one who made, oh sorry, that was my phone, in Vicious, who made a reappearance in this one, plus a few other main characters. And like, this is thick, and I will say that I don't think it was necessarily all important, but this is like 560 pages, but I did eat up everything that was in it, so what can I say? One of the best sequels I read this year. The second one is The Antiquarian's Object of Desire by India Holton. I have annotated the second and third in this. This is the third one. And I read Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love at the very end of last year while I was in Europe. And then I got and read The Geographer's Field Guide to Romance when I got home. And then I read this one when it came out. First of all, the covers are stunning. And I just really love the way that India Holton writes these books. They're historical. I don't actually know when this is set. I think it's the 1800s. It doesn't actually tell me. Oh, she's in New Zealand. Anyway. Yeah. These books are great. They're just such a fun time, and they're like historical romances with tropes. And that's kind of all you need to know. Like, that's kind of all they are. It's nothing groundbreaking, but they're really fun. I can't remember what the first one was, but I feel like it was Fake Dating. No, it was Enemies to Lovers. And the second one was Marriage of Convenience, and then this one is Best Friends to Lovers. And they were all done fabulously, with like the 1800s humor and charm and writing. And you know what, it kind of felt like Bridgerton now that I think about it. But anyway, another one of my best sequels this year. Okay, the next question is, what is a book that you had the most fun reading? And that, sorry, my heater turned on and I thought someone was in the house. Anyway, that would be Enchantra. Once again, I'll put a picture of it up here so you know what I'm talking about, but I do think everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's the sequel to Phantasma, and it was worlds better. I will openly admit that. It was like 10 million times better. The characters were better, the world was better. I liked it a lot more. It's about Well, I suppose they're not like direct run-ons, so I can talk about it. It's like an interconnected standalone series, so it's not like super important that you read it in order, and I don't think I'm going to spoil anything. But anyway, it's about this girl named Genevieve Grimm, who, you know, she's feeling a little lonely, a little left out of her family, so she goes and tries to find a family that's similar to hers to see if she can find someone to connect to and talk about her childhood. And instead she ends up in this really deadly game called The Hunt with this guy that she has to marry to save her life. And it just kind of goes from there. And I quite liked it. It was very, very good. So I highly recommend. Next question is a new release you haven't got to yet but want to soon. And once again, I have two, so I won't yammer on too much about them, especially because I don't really know what they're about other than what everybody else has been saying. But we have Into the Blue by Emma Brody, which all I know is that it's a romance about these two people who love improv. And that really calls to me. Like, I wasn't a theatre kid because I got really bad stage fright, but if not for that, I would have been. I would have been in a big way. So, I'm really excited to read this one. Everyone has had glowing things to say about it, and I'm really hoping, ooh, the angsty and heart-wrenching. Okay, don't know what that was. It's on the sticker on the back. I'll see if I can show. So I need to get on that. I'm gonna read out the quotations at the top so you guys can get a feel as well. The truth is, there's no such thing as a normal life. There's just the time you get and how you spend it. Ooh. Okay, I see you. I'm feeling interested. And then another one is, once again, no surprise, everyone knows this and has been reading it, Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. Now, I do really want to read this because I love an unlikable character. I like any book that will get any kind of emotion out of me, and I will probably hate her. And that's fine, and I will probably complain about it constantly to my partner. And once again, that's fine. But everybody has read this and I want to know what's happening. The only reason I haven't is because it's winter in Australia and this doesn't really strike me as a winter book. I prefer to read a lot more of my fantasy and sci-fi and all that kind of stuff in winter, not contemporary fiction, historical fiction. I don't actually know what this counts as. But my mum's read it, my partner's mum's read it, I'm pretty sure my partner's dad is gonna read it. So I feel like I'm really missing out, but as soon as it hits spring, I will be there for this. So, okay. So the next question is, what is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year? So the two that I've already said, and then I've got three, and once again, I will try to go through them quickly. The Names by Florence Knapp. Once again, I feel like everyone's talking about this. I don't actually know. Did this come out this year? No, it did. Right. Anyway. It's about this story of this kid and his family and what happens if he has a different name. So it follows three split parallel universes, I suppose, where he's got different names. And I just think the concept is so interesting. And everybody has had, once again, glowing things to say about this. Like, I think Rachel Catherine just read it and gave it 5 stars. And you know what? I want to be there. I want to know what's happening. I want to know if it'll make me cry. But once again, saving it for not winter. So that's why I haven't read this one. And then another one is Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. Another thing, I just don't think it's a winter read, and I'm pretty sure I bought it, sorry, when we were going into, oh, she has more books, when we were going into autumn. And you know what, I probably could have read it in autumn, but I decided not to. So I'm waiting for spring, and I don't really know much about this other than, like, some people say it's a thriller, but the thing on the side says the addictive love story adored by 1 million readers. I think it's a second chance romance, I don't really know, but once again, like, it's done the rounds of everywhere, so I am really excited to get to this one as well. And then finally, Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. And there is a reason why I haven't read this one yet. I seem to just be making up a lot of excuses, don't I? But I wanted to read everything else she had put out before I started this one. So I had read The Poppy War maybe 2 years ago. I read it ages ago. And it low-key scarred me a little bit. So I didn't continue until this year when I read The Dragon Republic, The Burning God, and I've also read Babel this year, which I read while I was in Oxford and Cambridge, which was so awesome. Like, I can't recommend that enough, but also, like, I don't think people can just up and go to Oxford and Cambridge to read Babel there. But yes, I have been putting this off until I had read all of her other works, but I would like to read this before Taipei Story comes out. That being said, none of her other books that I have are this size, and this is really going to bother me, so I might find a different spot for it than like with my other R.F. Kuang books. But look, beggars can't be choosers, okay? And I'm probably going to read this one soon because I want to read it once again before winter ends. This is over 500 pages. It's actually, oh my god. Sorry, 541. Insane, by the way. What does it say on the back? Oh, Olivia Blake spoke about it. Okay, next prompt was, what is the worst book that you've read so far in 2026? Whoa! I have 3. And let me tell you, they were bad. I only have 2 with me. I unhauled the other one, but that's a whole other thing. New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. I just think she's stupid. Bella, not Stephanie Meyer. And I think I was too old for this, and I don't have the nostalgia like everybody else does. I'm not continuing the series. I've decided. I only read up to New Moon because I already owned it. Like, maybe one day I will listen to it on audio, but my god, I did not like this book. And yeah, I think Bella was ridiculously stupid. But look, Twilight's just not for everyone, and that's entirely fair. So, the other one is The Matcha Maker Cafe that I own by Lily Chen. Now, I bought this when it was like fresh on the shelves, I'm pretty sure. The cover is stunning, so that's why I've kept it. But I'm pretty sure I gave this 2 stars. It's like, she's a matchmaker, if you hadn't gathered yet. And I think it's supposed to be like a silly, fun, haha, everybody's drinking matcha at the moment, so let's do like the coffee shop thing but make it matcha. And this book just had no anything, no plot, no substance, no... It was just bad. And I really didn't like it, and I will not probably be reading anything else by this author, which, like, whatever, it's not the end of the world. But, yeah, like, this was bad. And I think I read it in one day, but I'm keeping it because of the cover, because the cover's beautiful. Sorry, I'm trying to get the price tag sticker off the back. And then the last one is Tenderly I Am Devoured by, I think it's Lyndall Clipstone. I'll put the cover up again. The cover was stunning, and it was YA, and I don't remember anything other than that. But once again, I'm pretty sure I gave it 2 stars. I think it was like, I don't know, childhood best friends to enemies to lovers. I don't even know if it had a romance subplot. I have no idea. I just know that I didn't like it. And I got rid of it as soon as I could, which sucked because the cover was admittedly beautiful. But yeah, I wasn't keeping that. And oh my god, once again, I will not be reading anything else from that author. But, so, the next one is Biggest Surprise of the Year so far, and Good Surprise is Enchantra, that we've already spoken about. And this was a good surprise because I wasn't expecting it after reading Phantasma, even though Freya did say that Enchantra is a lot better. I really should have just trusted her, but I just kind of had my doubts, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked it. And my bad surprise, which I wouldn't say is bad, it's just surprised, was The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. The trope for this is boyfriend's best friend. And yes, I know everyone already knows this book has been making the rounds, but look, if anyone other than Abby Jimenez wrote this, I wouldn't have read it. And she did a good job of, like, causing them to break up. Like, I understand why it happened and everything, but like, I'm not about that life, and it's fine if you are, but I'm not. And I guess the surprise comes from I didn't think she would write something like this, like with that trope. I've liked everything else she's put out. I'm pretty sure I've given Yours Truly and maybe Just for the Summer 5 stars. And this wasn't bad. I liked it. It was, you know, Abby Jimenez. I liked the writing. I liked the way the story went. But I was just surprised. So, okay, the next question is favorite new to you author. And obviously I have to say V.E. Schwab. Can do no wrong. I've already got the next series I'm going to read by her after I finish up Vicious. Maybe even sooner. You know, I'm running out of series, so it's time for me to start some new ones. Is the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I already have the first one, so I wouldn't be surprised if I get onto that quite quickly. But I love her writing. I really liked Addie LaRue, so I'm more than happy to give Bury Our Bones and the Midnight Soil a chance. And yeah, I just really like her writing. And then the other one is Mike Corland, who wrote the 5 Broken Blades trilogy. Which, hey, unheard of for me. I read the whole trilogy in a month. I don't think that's ever happened ever. Maybe other than when I was like 10 and I read the whole Harry Potter series. But I loved that series. It was really good. I really want to read, I feel she's put a new one out and I think it's called Verity Guild or something. And I do really want to read that because I do really like Mike Corland's writing and all of that. But yeah, I think just the fact that I read the whole trilogy back to back pretty much, or at least in the same month, in and of itself is, you know, deserves a favorite new to me author spot. Okay, the next prompt is book that made me cry. Atmosphere. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't. I like so vividly remember my partner was asleep and I was in the living room when I finished it, and he woke up to me crying in the doorway of our room because I was just, whew, this book, man, like, I will think about this probably forever. And I can't even read like the last page or two, the last chapter without crying, so that's not on the cards for today. The most beautiful books that I bought this year is the next one. I am cheating a little bit with this one. Bringing back Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. It says, it's still got the sticker on it, Waterstones exclusive edition. I don't live somewhere where we have a Waterstones. I bought this while I was in London. And it was worth it. But I haven't really bought many pretty books this year, so I'm including this in this year. Just look, like, the sprayed edges that are everywhere, and even just like the naked hardback. Oh, with the gold foiling is just awesome. And it completely fits the vibe of the book. So yeah, I almost wish I was going back sometime soon so that I could get the matching one of the next one. I guess I could pre-order it from Waterstones and get it shipped here, but that's expensive. So look, we'll see. And then the other one that I did buy this year, Into the Blue by Emma Brody. I don't really know what it is about this that I think it's one of the most beautiful books I've bought this year, but you know, it is. I think it's just like the color combo and all the stars and stuff. And I'm sure I'll understand why when I read it. But yeah, this is up there. Books I need to read by the end of this year. Bringing it back around. Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. Won't talk about it again. Save you all the trouble. Into the Blue, once again. Won't talk about it again. We've already been there. And also, I've started the Infernal Devices series, which I didn't read it when I was a kid, so I feel like I'm really missing the bandwagon on that one. But I'm probably going to finish it up quite soon because, you know, everybody else loves it. And I really want to know what all the hype's about. And also, I really just want to finish out the Mortal Instruments series. So, look, I've got ulterior motives, but what can you do? And finally, Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinnerman. Everybody is reading this, so once again, feel like I don't really need to talk about it all that much. The thing on the back says the apocalypse will be televised. And look, what am I? 34 pages in. Not super far. I'm also not going to continue reading this right now. I've got other stuff going on. But, where is this guy from? Oh, Washington. He plays bass. That's kind of sick. Anyway, not important, sorry. Everybody is reading this, and my partner also wants to read it, but he wants me to read it first so I can tell him if I think he'll like it. And I love apocalypse books. Okay, look, I'm gonna go on a tangent. If there is anything that you guys need to know about me in this channel, anything that has a vague apocalypse feel to it, I will love it and I will read it. One of my favorite YA authors, oh, what's his name? I think it's Eric J. Brown, wrote like one of the best apocalypse duologies I've ever read in my life. And I'll stand on that. Maze Runner was my favorite trilogy as a kid. I've still got all 5 of them. Oh, I love that series. And then also I went to like, it wasn't called BookCon, I don't know what it was called, but like a bookish event for Australians recently. And the first guy that I spoke to had a trilogy about the apocalypse, and all he said was apocalypse, and I was like, give me all 3 of them. I don't know this man. I don't know these books, but honestly, I'm actually probably gonna put that in a vlog. How many other apocalypse books do I have? Not very many. So I can't make a vlog on it. But yeah, apocalypse, I'm there. I'm just kind of feeling like, coming back to Dungeon Crawl Carl. Everybody's talking about it at the moment, and everyone has kind of said similar things in the sense that like, it's very repetitive. But, you know, everyone's reading it, so it must be good. So I'll give it a crack eventually, and I do want to finish this before the end of the year. Not the series. Good God, not the series. At least the first 3, if I like the first one. But, so anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you like me, and you are excited for more content from me. I can't wait to make some more stuff. I'm very excited to be making this channel. I really hope you got something from the books that I spoke about today, telling you guys, you know, my interests and what I like to read. And yeah, I don't know, I hope to see you guys soon. You know, if you like this content and you like what I do, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I post next. See ya.